बॉल बॉल बोली उसने, एक बार्बी वाली बॉल बोल रही था और एक और डॉल बोल रही थी।
Sonakshi Rana, Bharti Sujan, Ajay Kumar Singh, Dr. Vandana.
Hello.
Sitting outside. Anybody going to
Hello.
call Dr. Vandana Sharma? She's sitting outside. Sunil Kumar Pamar and Jasbir Singh Dalal. Chandar Mohan Parshira and Dikshit Gupta. Katoch and Dr. Prashant Gautam. Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, Dr. Arvind Kumar Dubey and Dr. Amit Gangotia. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Very good. So the good about morning is that we are again back after a hectic 2 day of our corporate deliberations, ready for our academic interventions on the topics, whatever we have done as a practitioners we have seen. But now what we have done as a case study, going in-depth analysis about the academics, the things we will be discussing out here. So we have nearly 17 press papers for our first track, that was HRM and OB, and for the second one were 10. That means we have 27 papers to be presented here, but due to the space problem out here, we have merged two tracks, that is the first one HRM and the second is TTM. The rest of the tracks are going on in the TAPS and quality. So 4 tracks there and 2 here. Now, may I please introduce to you, you may please stand up because everyone can see you. The session chair and co-chairs for the first track, Mr. Asif Ali and Dr. Anju Thapa. And for the second track, we have Dr. Amit Gangotia and Dr. Bharti Gupta. So over to you, sir, for this presentations of the track. We have the attendance list. The presentations will be loaded in 5 minutes or so, and then we will be starting with the session.
Ma'am, HRM and TTM, respected HOD sir, from Supply Chain Management, respected speakers, fellow colleagues, dear students, good morning to one and all. To begin the session, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Asif Ali. I'm a faculty member with the Department of HRM and OB. Along my side is Anju Thapa, Miss Anju Thapa. She will be the co-chair. I will be the chairperson for this session, and she will be the co-chair. She's a faculty member with Department of Supply Chain Management. And going through the list of the presentations that will be made here in next 1 or 2 hours or so, well, I find it quite interesting, as we discussed yesterday, that business scenario or the business environment that is changing rapidly in and around us, we need to respond to these changes. And I find here the topics which are contemporary and address to these needs quite well. And I believe the audience here will have a good time, interesting time, and after the session, of course, they will be having some good takeaways from the session. And to begin with, we'll take the first presentation from Mr. Gautam Mehta and Dr. Anish Yusuf, if they are present. So it is Satvik, sorry for the pronunciation. Satvik, is he or she present?
Yeah.
Okay, can we please begin with the topic for the presentation will be goods and service tax in India, a study of the different perspectives. And in detailing how we proceed, we'll be providing you 5 to 7 minutes of the presentation, which will be briefly followed by a Q&A of 2 to 3 minutes.
Whether I have to go there or I could practice. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot.
As you know, this GST is a very innovative and good initiative taken by central government in the field of indirect tax reformation in India. And as you know, first of all, we have to know what is this goods and services tax in India. The goods and services tax in India, commonly known as GST, is any tax on supply of goods and services or both across the supply chain. This is a basically indirect tax that is going to replace this presently VAT and different types of taxes that is to be levied by central and state government on different types of goods by a single simple tax at the point of different point of value addition, as against the present concept of tax on the manufacture of goods or on sale of goods on provision of services. This GST is a major step in tax reforms in India, particularly indirect tax. As you all know, indirect tax is levied by the government on the production of goods, and we have to pay it to the retailer, and retailer will pay on our behalf to the central government. But this GST will simplify it by substituting various central taxes like VAT, service tax, and excise duty, and various state tax like entertainment tax into it, and thus minimizing the cascading effect and prevent the double taxation. Thus, the main objective of this innovative idea is to provide the unitary and uniform market to the various businessmen. Please turn to the next slide. To carry out this research, we have formulated the four objectives of study. The first one is we have to comprehend the concept of goods and services tax in India. Second is to study the character of proposed GST model. And thirdly is to identify what the advantage we are going to have with the implementation of GST for our economic growth. And finally, we have to collect the information for further research work on GST in India. Next, please. The main methodology of our research is exploratory in nature. So the data has been collected on secondary sources that comprises of various government and media reports, journals, research papers, and articles. First we have to know what the meaning of GST. GST is an indirect tax that is to be levied by both the central and state government on the goods and services across the supply or value addition. Second, we have First, what the features of this goods and services tax in India? This tax to be collected at each stage of value addition across the supply chain. Suppose a dealer has bought a product for 20 rupees and he sold it to the retailer at 30 rupees. He will not have to pay the tax on the 30 rupees. He will have to pay the tax only on the 10 rupees. That's the main idea of it. That means as the value increases across the hand, the tax is to be given on the proportionate basis, not on the final prices. And government has decided to adopt a dual GST model in which there is both the state government and central government is going to impose the taxes on the common base. The tax to be levied by the central is called as CGST, and that to be levied by the state government is called the SGST. And one more tax is going to be levied by the central government is IGST, that is for the interstate supply of goods and services across the border. And central government will not take it and pass it to the state from where this product has originated. And so this says that this is basically destination and consumption type of GST. Next slide. Yeah. Further, this GST will have an upper limit and lower limit too. Upper limit and lower limit. That means the businessman that has a production limit up to the particular limit will not have to pay this GST, and there is a maximum limit above which they will have to not pay that GST. Yes. Thus we see that with the GST is very simple to understand and administer as a common law for the whole country. Next slide. So we can conclude that this GST is going to have led to an increase in economic activity, and secondly, it will transform the present distorted indirect tax system more efficient and transparent, leading to more investor-friendly tax environment. Thirdly, it will reduce the compliance cost by reducing the administrative cost and reducing the distortions in economy. Thirdly, this study not only adds value to literature but also acts as a base for further empirical research. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we're open for questions. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Hello.
Include taxes levied by municipal corporations like Octroi levied by the, and if yes, then how the GST council will pay them? One time, one minute. Corporations or local governments, and if yes, then how GST council will pay them?
The GST council will not pay them. Actually, the state GST will be implied. So the state will take that GST, and the central government will take its own GST.